So after analyzing the game, I thought, I thought special teams was basically a push. Not a whole lot happened. In terms of that phase, I thought it was nice that Peyton got 2 field goals again. It's a good and a bad thing. But they did beat us in the field position game, which was hard. Our best starting field position was the 25-yard line, and they had 2 plus 50 field possessions. One we had to punt out of our end zone, and then we threw the pick. And so we all know what that looks like. On defense, they made some plays on us, but, putting the tape on, our kids played hard. The goal line stands were really, really good, and we should have had probably a third. We just fit a gap wrong. But on the other side, we had too many explosive plays. Too many explosive plays in the pass game for our liking, and they ran the ball really effective. I thought Scarlett did a really good job. He's a hard-nosed back. I think he's underrated and falls forward and is patient, and he did a good job. And then on offense, the pass game, we lacked explosives for sure in that area. And, probably overall, we probably should have run the ball a little bit more, just looking back, because I think our offensive line, our backs were doing a pretty good job of getting downhill and those type of things. I really like the mentality that Rich brings to the offense. And so regarding him, still don't know his status. Might not be, obviously he's laying out on the field in pain, and you think it's going to be forever, and it might not be forever. So, he's getting somebody to look at him, a specialist, and we'll figure it out a little bit more. So we still don't have total information on him, although it's might be better than we thought with him laying on the field like he was. So that's my 2 cents on the Stanford game.
Chris, as far as the passing game goes, we talked before a lot about the younger wide receivers.
Yeah.
You've given us your take on that. Is that perspective changed at all after what you saw Saturday?
Here's the thing. They just, guys, they just put it on tape in practice. And people don't understand, you got to do it in practice. You can't do it half the time or 3/4 of the time. Now, do we need to rotate maybe some more guys in there? And actually, we've been really trying to do that with certain personnel groups. But they haven't been getting called maybe as much as we thought they were. So we'll take a better look at that and maybe rotate a few more guys in there. Too many drops, obviously. We probably counted 5 between tight ends and receivers, which is, is too many. And so we got to just tighten that up, throwing and catching for sure. The other thing that really stood out, obviously, on offense was our, on probably both sides, but it's third downs. That was one area that we got beat bad in that area. We've been pretty good there, and that was painful.
Chris, it looked like you had that empty look where there's nobody in the backfield other than Jacob, and you guys are trying to spread them out, obviously, and find some things. Especially on third down, what did you think you were going to be able to take advantage of?
Well, you get leverage in matchups, and all you need is a little bit of space. And certainly we misfired on one. We had it on either side, and we just misfired. And we don't need much yardage in those situations. And, if we complete the pass, looks great. We're not even having this conversation. But if not, it's easy to look back. And, so I was kind of talking about running the ball maybe a little bit. But we did have it. We misfired on the pass and catch.
You talked about it a little after the game about how many times Aaron was targeted. Mm-hmm. Why do you think more receivers weren't able to get involved?
Again, I think coverage dictates. That's where he's going to go. And, I think Aaron had 2 of them that were dropped, which is painful because those are. When you're playing a tight game, those are critical. But Aaron also makes some tough catches. And Aaron's a good player. And, to your guys' point, we'd like some other guys to get involved, and more so for sure. We don't ever like it when the ball's going to one guy. I mean, that makes it easy for everybody on the other side. So.
You mentioned the way guys practice. What do, like Austin Osborne and Michael Spiker in particular, those two guys, what do you need to see from them to get them into the game more?
They need to, one, be more detailed in terms of learn, what we're doing out there. And they're making progress. They really are. And they're practicing, and they're getting a lot of reps out there. They just, aren't where the other guys are right now. But they are growing, and they're getting better all the time. But that's not going to be you guys, you don't come to practice, and you don't see what's going on out there. And that's no, knock on those guys. They're getting better. They're young players. And that's what it is. I mean, we're not going to not put our best guys out there because we think we got some better players sitting on the sidelines, right? I mean, that makes no sense.
What's your expectation for receivers in this offense for having details down well enough to play and contribute to the level like in terms of time in the program?
I don't know. There's no timetable. It's when a guy picks it up. We played freshmen out there, Dante Pettis, and John Ross played as a true, all those type of things, and so as long as they can pick it up, they can play. Now, when a guy's playing, you'd love to get him more involved. Puka's playing, and we'd like to get him more involved just being out there on the field. And so we do pay attention to that. But that's not the issue. That wasn't the issue on Saturday. The guys that we were going to, we need to be more detailed there. And those guys are our most detailed guys right now.
You mentioned how they were more physical than you guys were on Saturday. Is that something how do you fix something like that?
I don't think, looking back, I think our guys played physical. I think our guys played hard. I mean, that's where the film, it's never as bad, it's never as good. I mean, the end result was as bad, but those kids play hard. And they throw themselves in there, and there was physical play. Stanford, that's their style. That's our style a little bit. And our guys played hard.
When you look specifically at their offensive line versus your guys' offensive line, right at that point of attack, how did you feel like the way the game went in that particular?
And I thought it was, kind of a stalemate. I mean, obviously, and then Scarlett did a great job finding creases. Now, I do think we got to get out blocks better. There were some single blocks and some guys freed up that got to make plays. When they're double teaming our D line, our backers got to get off and make plays. And when they're single blocking our D line, some of those guys got to get off and make plays. That's the game right there. That's the cat and mouse game. And so, I think we got to do better in those areas.
I know that also that both Leatu play and Asa Turner play, so now their red shirts are gone. But in terms of some of these other guys that are coming through, whether it's the linebackers or some of these younger defensive linemen, are you anticipating kind of involving those guys a little bit more?
Like I said last time, there's maybe one or two other guys. I mean, we're still about in the middle of the season, and you'd probably like to save everybody at this point, but there's still a lot of ball left to be played, so there might be one or two other guys we're still looking at.
With Ahmed getting 6 carries in that game, was that more of a situational thing that he wasn't more involved, or how would you explain that?
Yeah, I think so. I think a situation. I mean, Rich Newton was doing some pretty good things, and put Sean McGrew in there, and he's doing some pretty good things, and so that's how it goes. And like I said before, I mean, I like how we rotate our backs, and I don't think we have one guy that's needs to be in there the whole time, and I think Keith Bonifant does a great job with that.
Chris, you talk about how unique the atmosphere was down there beforehand. And just, you notice, because we can hear up here in the meeting room some of the things that are going on the field in terms of noise and things you're using to prepare, and obviously that was kind of noticeably absent last week. What exactly were you trying to do to try to get those guys maybe comfortable being uncomfortable in that environment?
Well, that's really everything that we're always trying to do every week, is we're trying to put them in that environment and make them a little uncomfortable, like the game will be, like we think the game will be. But, the environment didn't have anything to do with that. We worked on it. We talked about, we got outplayed. We got outcoached. I mean, that's what it was. And sometimes you have those games, you know, it's a frustrating game for everybody involved, you know, and like I said, credit to Stanford. I mean, that's all you can say is those guys did a better job than we did across the board.
I think you were out coached that game.
Well, their schemes work better than our schemes.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, yeah. What else you want me to say?
You brought it up. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Do you think the late starts affect your team at all?
You know, I don't think so. You know, I think down the road, there can be a cumulative effect when you're back-to-back, you know, on the road and getting home at, you know, late. You just got to get the guys back on schedule and try to help them keep up with sleep and those type of things.
Chris, you said before the season began, that you and Bush Hamden talked about throwing deeper, more on a regular basis. Has that manifested? It didn't seem to work Saturday. Was that a function of play calling, or was it their schemes?
Yeah, I think coverage dictates a lot, and we took some shots, and you know, we had two. We left two touchdowns. One was a deep one that we hit Aaron on, and we had him beat, and we just a little underthrown. Made a big play. That should have been a touchdown. And then we had another touchdown in the red zone where we had a little protection issue and couldn't quite get the ball to Hunter, and that was a touchdown. So, you know, we had stuff that we left on the field, and you know, that's part of the game. I mean, that the execution's got to come through and all those type of things, and that, you know, that comes to us to get those guys a little more dialed in and more reps on those type of throws and protections and all those type of things. But, you know, we had stuff out there that was there for the taking.
You mentioned the missed tackles after the game. What did you see in that area when you looked at the tape?
Just that, you know, I mean, I think you know, that's one of the things on defense that you're always frustrated about most of the time. It's like, we got to tackle better. I think when things are going really well on defense, you don't hear those words. When things aren't going so well, you're going to hear that from everybody in the country. And it's something that, you know, like we talk about every single week. I mean, it's stuff that we work on. You get a little bit of live contact stuff in a real smart way, and you know, you do the rest in terms of body position and all that stuff every week, every day.
Chris, speaking of consistent themes around college football, like the missed tackle thing you talked about, there's not one fan base in college football that won't criticize a coordinator after a game like that. What do you make of the...
I mean, that's it. You know, it's going to come down, I mean, you just got to pick who it's going to be, right? It's either going to be the head coach, it's going to be the coordinator, it's going to be the quarterback, or it's going to be, you know, some group. I mean, it's just, that's just the world we live in, and we get it, and, you know, I mean, that's sports, you know, that's how it goes. I think he's doing a good job, you know, we're working hard, and do we need to score more than 13 points? Yes. I mean, that's obvious, right? I mean, you're not going to win many Pac-12 games scoring. You win now and again, but not many scoring 13. We got to get more than that. That's obvious.
Chris, you guys have been pretty good about not giving up explosives defensively.
Yeah.
In the past game, what did you see that popped up with?
Well, one, you know, we had a really bad blown coverage. And then the other one, they had us on a screen. They throw their tight end, twice got us, you know, good execution. 3 times probably got us on that. And he's a hard guy to defend. I mean, he just really is. He's a matchup problem for everybody around the league. And so, you know, that's the thing. Those explosives in the pass game were a little bit more uncharacteristic than we like. And so they did a good job mixing, you know, those throws, and we're just explosive enough there and ran the ball effectively. It's, you know, it's like how we'd like to play too.
Where is the passing game right now compared to where you thought it would be after you studied things in the offseason and made whatever changes?
Yeah, we're trying to do that, you know, but you also play to your strength. And like, I go back and we probably should have ran the ball more. Our offensive line and run, I mean, that's, you know, if we're going to second guess and all that, which we always do as coaches, right, and look back, it's like, probably should have ran the ball maybe more, a little bit here. That's what we were doing pretty effectively. And so, yeah.
Why is that so hard to adjust in game? I mean, obviously, it's always going to be easier when it's over to look back and say what you should have done differently, but why is it so hard during the game?
Well, I think we're trying to get points, like everybody knows we want, and they come slower through the run game, and explosive plays can change the game, and so it's always that cat and mouse game.
How hard is it, Chris, they just hog the ball. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's what they want, that's what they want to do. So when you get behind, how do you want to run the ball more when you also have to score more points?
That's their game, they get a lead and they hang on to it. I mean, we really were familiar with their game. And like I said, they just executed their plan better than we did. They got the lead, and then they had the ball, 40 minutes to 20. And so now you're trying to make your drives really matter. And so you're pick and choosing when you're going to try to throw the ball down the field and take a shot, as opposed to the 4 yards cloud of dust kind of mentality. And so it's that cat and mouse game right there. And it wasn't like we didn't have them on our sheet and weren't trying to think when we're going to do that. And then you get behind, and they're going to play a little bit softer, and it's a little bit harder to do that.
Was the amount of time the defense was on, was that dictating the fact that you weren't trying to go up tempo maybe as much as you would have liked to?
Yeah, that kind of varies game to game, but yes. Yeah, I mean, it's, they're out there, and they do a great job of eating clock and all those type of things. And sometimes you can go out there and very quickly be back on the sideline, and so all that's a factor.
You mentioned that the guys had played hard, but in the first half, I think Stanford averaged almost 7 yards on first down.
Say that again?
In the first half, Stanford averaged almost 7 yards on first down. Was that a function of getting beat at the point of the attack, or were you surprised by it?
Yeah, both. I mean, they did a good job coming off, and they were pushing the pile, and our guys were not either, it's either a tackling thing / fitting the gap right, or not getting off blocks.
Chris, the second week in a row, had a coverage bust for a long touchdown. The Hoku touchdown, what'd you see on film there? What happened there?
Yeah, safety didn't get over, and it's hard way to give up a touchdown. For us, easy way for them.
Can he go back to that spot this week?
We'll rotate guys.
Chris, you talked about they were more physical. Did that surprise you?
No. I mean, I said that after the game, and then you put the tape on, and I think both sides played physical. I think they were physical. I mean, it wasn't like our guys were not playing hard and playing physical. We didn't tackle well enough. We didn't fit gaps probably well enough to stop them what we were doing. So that's what I would say.
When we compared this game to the Cal game earlier, are there many similarities that you see in terms of where you got beat?
Well, didn't win. Like throw the ball better, those two things.
That play to Fahoka, was it the same play against USC, just opposite side of the field?
The one that
The 42-yard touchdown for Stanford.
No, he was just wide open running down the field.
Right, but I'm saying the coverage bust was the same as...
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know last year there was the focus of talking about keeping Jake Browning from going backwards and moving more laterally. Was that something you saw Jacob Eason doing a little bit too much?
In the pocket? Yeah. We don't ever like when the quarterback's reversing his field and running around like that. So, yeah.
Arizona Saturday. Tucson. Last time you were down there, it was a tough one, obviously. What do you see on tape?
It was a good one.
It was a very good one. What do you see from Khalil Tate?
Yeah, I mean, he is something else. I mean, he really is. He can run like, nobody I've seen in quite a long time playing quarterback. Creates a lot of issues with his feet. And it's a really strong arm. I mean, he can sit on his back foot and he can throw it 60 yards down the field, or he can scramble around and flick it across the field, and it's all that kind of stuff. And so they do a good job with that up tempo, using his legs in the run game. And then if you cover things, he's really, really dangerous.
Is it almost better to go back on the road after a game like you had Saturday to kind of bring the team together again?
No, I'd like to be at home. Yeah.